Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're looking at something, well, it's a pretty bold argument. The idea that one simple change in what we eat could actually turn around the future of an entire country.
All right, let's kick things off with a huge question, one that a lot of countries are grappling with right now. How do you overcome the challenges of an aging population? It feels like this massive, unsolvable problem, right?
Well, the source we're digging into today argues that maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't buried in government policy or tucked away in some boardroom. What if we've been looking in completely the wrong direction?
Instead, the answer might be sitting right on our dinner plates. Yeah, I know. It's a wild idea, linking a massive national crisis to something so personal. So let's break this down.
Okay, first, let's get a handle on the problem itself. People talk about this demographic cliff, and this chart really lays it out. You've got the number of working-age people going down, while the number of older, dependent folks is shooting up. You can see how that puts a massive strain on everything, both economically and socially.
So what's the proposed fix? It's a total paradigm shift, and it all starts with how we fuel our bodies.
The big idea here is something called LCHF, which stands for low carbohydrate, high fat. Now, the source we're looking at doesn't frame this as just another weight loss fad. No, it's presented as a lifestyle. The goal is to tackle metabolic diseases head-on, things like type 2 diabetes, by basically changing what your body burns for energy.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, think about it like this. You eat a big, carb-heavy meal, you get that quick sugar rush, and then boom, the inevitable sugar crash hits you. We've all been there. The argument here is that a high-fat meal does something different. It tells your body to make something called ketones for fuel, and the claim is that this gives you a much more stable, steady stream of energy. No crash, just sustained focus and clarity.
Okay, so if it changes your energy every single day, what about the long game? What's the first big ripple effect? Well, according to this argument, it's a complete game changer for how long and, more importantly, how well we live. And this is probably the most jaw-dropping claim in the entire piece. The idea that we could extend our health span, that's the number of years we're actually healthy and active, all the way to 120. And just to be clear, this isn't just about living longer. It's about living healthier for longer. The key isn't just adding years to your life, it's adding life to your years. We're talking about staying sharp, physically and mentally, for way, way longer than we think is possible right now.
And this is where it scales up to the national level. Think about it. The traditional workforce is maybe 15 to 64. Now imagine if people were still healthy, sharp, and productive well into their 80s, maybe even their hundreds. The argument is that this could literally multiply a country's workforce, its human capital.
Which brings us right to the next big ripple effect, the economy. What happens to a country's economy when its people are healthier and can work longer? It completely changes the game.
Well, the source points out that one of the most painful economic hits an aging nation takes is the brain drain from retirement. All that incredible knowledge, decades of hard-won experience, it just vanishes when people retire.
And we're not just talking about any knowledge, we're talking about truly irreplaceable expertise. Think about massive projects, building a power plant, developing new energy sources, complex international deals. These are things where you can't just replace 40 years of experience with a textbook. So, if you could keep those senior experts in the game, that becomes a huge competitive advantage for the whole country.
Okay, now this is where the idea gets even bigger, because once you change individual health and the economy, the next thing to change is society itself, the very fabric of it. It's a total flip in how we view aging. Instead of older people being seen mainly as dependents who need care, they become active, productive members of the economy. And if that happens, you can imagine it would lift a massive weight off the shoulders of younger generations. It could really change the social dynamic. And here's what that looks like in terms of cold, hard cash. This chart shows the potential payoff. The idea is, if you slash the national budget for chronic diseases and long-term care, which are huge expenses, all that money is freed up. It can then be poured back into things that drive future growth, like research and development or new infrastructure.
And it doesn't stop there. The source also points to other knock-on effects. For one, if older family members are healthier, fewer people have to quit their jobs to become caregivers. Plus, there's a fascinating angle on food waste. The idea is that fewer, more nutritious meals means less waste, and that could even push agriculture in a more sustainable, high-value direction.
So let's pull all this together. The really crucial takeaway from the source is how it frames this whole idea. This isn't being pitched as just another health tip or a trendy diet. It's being presented as a full-blown national strategy, a strategy for survival and for growth.
And this one quote from the material really says it all. It calls this shift in diet the most powerful national survival and growth engine. I mean, wow.
So, when you boil it all down, the core argument we've looked at today is this. A nation's decline isn't some foregone conclusion. It's not inevitable. It's a problem that could, just maybe, be solved from the ground up. One plate, one meal at a time.
And that leaves us with a pretty wild question to chew on, doesn't it? Could what's on our plates actually shape the destiny of our entire nation? It's a lot to think about. Thanks for tuning in.